everybody, it's Lee here with a very special Huntsman weather interview, and I have one of the Savannah Bananas coaches, Ray Ortega, with me.
Hey, how's it going? What's up, man?
Um, so Ray, you're a very interesting person in my opinion, and I think I've done some research, and I want to know who are you? Like I've seen that you've played in college and major and minor leagues, and you've also been a coach. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. Well, my name is Ray Ortega. My real name is Ramon. But when I was younger, I went by Raymond because it was more English than Spanish, and I wanted to be more English. But then that got shortened to Ray. So that's where I'm at now is Ray. But I'm from Miami, Florida. I went to college in New York City, Manhattan College. It's a small Division I school, the Manhattan Jaspers, who created the seventh inning stretch, in case you didn't know. Um, After that, I did not get drafted by Major League Baseball. I played independent baseball for 3 years. And my last year playing independent baseball, I was a player coach type of role. And that kind of transitions into me coaching. So when I first started coaching, I retired as a player to become a coach in independent baseball and kind of try and become, kind of like a fresh start at a career in baseball and try and start from there and try and make it to the big leagues as a coach. So that's kind of how it happened for me. But after coaching for 3 years in independent baseball, the league that I was at in Detroit, Michigan, the USPBL, during those 3 years, we signed like over 30 players to minor league contracts. And a few of those guys, I think 5 guys or 4 guys, have made it to the major league since then. But so I kind of think put myself on the map a little bit as like we have an idea of what we're doing, developing players. So that turned into the opportunity with the San Francisco Giants. So I was a player. I stopped playing. I became a coach. I wanted to be a manager. I got the opportunity to be a coach in the minor league system with the Giants, where I was the AAA bullpen coach for 2 years, 19 and 20. 20 obviously was COVID. As the bullpen coach, I mainly was working with catchers and relief pitchers. And then I also helped the other assistant coaches with their areas as they needed help with. So I was able to learn like from all the different areas at a really high level in a great organization. And then from that, after COVID, they cut a lot of jobs. My job was one of them. And I found a job in the Atlantic League as a bench coach slash hitting coach with the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. So I did that for 3 years, which last year, the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, they played a challenger game against the Savannah Bananas in Savannah, Georgia, which is how we met. So me and the Savannah Bananas crossed paths because we played them last year in the independent team that I was currently coaching.
And that's awesome. And that's a wild path, honestly. And I was like, you were like the assistant manager for like the Birmingham Bluefield Beavers. That's a lot to say, but
Yeah.
you did that, and then you were with San Francisco, and then you got to be with the Southmoreland Blue Crabs. That is so cool how that all works out. And some very hard names to say.
Yeah.
But so
Yes.
the transition between player and manager, tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, that was that was the part of my career where I took a leap of faith, you would say, because at the time I didn't think that I couldn't play anymore. I just thought that the opportunities to play were being difficult and I had an opportunity to coach. So I thought about it and I prayed about it. And I was like, well, what do I do here? Do I pass up this opportunity to start professionally coaching at an early age and continue to try and play, even though I believed in myself, or do I take this leap of faith and see where this open door leads to? So I did that. And what I didn't realize though was once I started coaching, I started having more fun. So the whole time I was a player, I thought like the way to have the most fun with baseball is to be a player in baseball. And that's like all you know as a player is to play the game. So like you think that this is the only way that you know how to survive and live life is as a player. But eventually it runs out for everybody. Even the best players in the world eventually age out. So at some point you have to make that decision to stop playing, which is why I took the leap. I was like, at some point it happens for everybody. Let me just try it. And if anything, I could always go back and try to make a comeback as a player anyways. So I tried it for a year, but I fell in love with it. And I realized that was God's purpose for me was to be a coach. I needed the experience as a player because I needed to be a good coach. So my experience as a player helped me become the coach that I am. And that's all that was just like a preparation for me to enter into like the coaching part of my career, which turned into now where we're at with the Bananas. Like if I was never coaching, I would never been on the path to cross with the Bananas, which is a little more than a coaching role normally in baseball, obviously. But that's where we're at now.
And that is so cool. And and you talk about Godline, and I love that. And as a Christian myself, I stumbled upon something as I was doing some research, and I saw that you were also a chaplain for the U.S. PBL.
Yeah, that's good research, man. I served as a chaplain for the East Side Diamond Hoppers is one of the teams in the league. So that team, while I was doing all my coaching responsibilities, I was also serving them as their chaplain, getting them the word weekly. Like we would have a weekly hangout, chill Bible study, and then we'd also have the weekend. On Sundays, our baseball chapel. We'd have our chapels, and we'd provide a message for the guys that were interested, and we'd feed them breakfast and take care of them coffee, and just have a little bit of a fellowship, communion before we go out there and play. Because at that level, like a lot of these players, they're trying to fight for this dream, but the numbers is just mathematically percentages are low that you make it. So most people who play baseball actually have to move on and don't get to do it as a living forever. So like, what does that look like? And the reality of that. So like being a chaplain and being there for these players as a coach, but also in their personal life was a super special and rewarding, thing for me.
And that's awesome. I actually, my senior year of marching band, got to be the band chaplain, and that was one of the hardest years I've ever had in marching band, but also it was the most fun year because I got to share God, and then I also had to, my faith was put to the test throughout that whole season too. So I was having to teach about God and then show my faith in God at the same time. And that is really cool that you got to do all that with the players and stuff. So it's from being a coach for like the South Maryland Blue Crabs to your transition to Banana Ball. How has that been like this year?
It's been wild, man. I had an idea about what, because we played against them. So I had an idea about what it kind of was. Our team didn't play them the way that the game was supposed to be played. So I don't think I got to experience it truly until I got here. But now that I'm here, it's just been a wild ride, man. It's super exciting stuff every day. Like there's just a ton of new stuff happening. There's no rule book to this level. Like this has never been done before. The people that are here right now are building this thing, out of thin air. We're creating this sport, this league, this show. It's all new. There's a bunch of ideas floating around at all times. It's like just like you're surviving and thriving at the same time. And it's super rewarding as a coach, obviously, because of the platform that we get. So like being able to go out there and share so much interactions and joy with fans on a daily basis when we play games and have our shows is amazing. And that's something that I haven't really had to experience at that level in traditional baseball. You're somewhat popular in minor leagues. Like if you go to the games, you have a good amount of crowds and you'll get people to ask autographs, but it isn't, as you can tell, or as you can speak to, like Banana Land, So having the attention of the fans the way that we do is super special. It's also like a responsibility and it's a privilege, it's an honor to have that. So we have to do good with that. It's kind of how I feel about everything right now.
That's so awesome. And I mean, I bet that was also kind of a hard transition because it's like Banana Ball's like that, a whole different thing with different rules and the new fan base and everything. And honestly, when I went to the game, it was overwhelming how much there was going on. So a hat tip to you to how you survive a game like that. So when you were, coaching with the South Maryland Blue Crabs and stuff and doing what you were doing, and then became with Savannah Bananas, when from an outside point of view, what did you think about the Bananas before you came in to the fold?
That's a great question. Before we ever played them like in person and I got to meet them and shake their hands and like put a face to the name, like at first when you first hear about it in the traditional baseball purist mindset, you kind of think of it as a joke and like a satire. So when I first heard about it, I thought like they were just figured out a way to make a satire off of baseball and make a show out of it, and people enjoyed that. And there's nothing wrong with that. It was just that's what I thought it was. And then we got to like play them in this game, and I was like, all right, this is more of a game, like a competitive environment than a show. At least that's what I saw. And then like having the opportunity to join them, and also knowing a couple of players that were in the organization. Michael Diva is one of them. I got to manage him in 2020. So I got to ask the players a little bit of the inside scoop of what it's like. And I was like, all right, like these players are there to play ball. Like, and if I'm getting into a situation with a bunch of players who are here to ball out, then I think with that alone I can survive. So I was like, let me take a risk on everything else and see what it is. But it's not. It's 100% baseball, but it's also 100% entertainment. Like we have to do everything that we need to do to maintain our baseball prowess and our skill level and increase that. We also have to keep up with the entertainment side, which ultimately is what feeds the seats. You know, that's what gets the fans there. That's what they enjoy, and that's what's different. Because no baseball, you're bored during in between action. In Banana Land, there is no in between action. It's always action. And that's the difference. And that's the exciting part that I had to, there was an adjustment period for me, but now that I'm in it, I'm definitely all in on Banana Ball.
That's awesome. And I Michael Deep seems like a really cool guy, and I'm really close friends with Stilts and Bronny, and they're always practicing. Well, when Stilts isn't fishing, he's working hard practicing, and Bronny's always working hard practicing and catching. And I mean, it's not what it seems like to me is it's not just all entertainment. Y'all are actually trying to better yourselves in the game and become better baseball players.
Absolutely. And they have their competitors, the guys are here to play baseball, and the entertainment stuff is like the new part of all of this that we're all learning how to do. And it's fun. Like it's fun to be able to have people, be entertained by you. It's really rewarding to feel that energy kind of moving around a crowd and being exchanged with people. Um, So all in all, the transition has been overwhelming is a good word, but in a good way. And I think it's supposed to be like that because this is like baseball traditionally is super calm and like a patience game. This game is like, whoa, everything's going 1,000 miles an hour.
Oh yeah. And what has it been like in your first season coaching for the Bananas? Like it's been your first year, you're starting to coach for the Bananas. Tell me how that's been.
Oh, it's been great. Well, the year started in Tampa where we got swept 0-3, and then we lost the first game in Peoria, so we were 0-4 to start the year. So it was not a good start. But we turned it around because that's what professionals do. We go about the work every day. Kobe Bryant mentality, right? Mamba mentality. Get our work done, trust the process, and that's what we did. We were in the cages getting all our work done, and then that turned into the on-field performance. We got on a roll. We got on a rally. We won the whole 2024 tour. Even though we lost last night, we still were the best team, of the two, which is awesome. And congrats to the guys for making that happen. Last year they did not win the tour, so this year, we took back what belonged to the Bananas, and that's awesome. The transition has just been like figuring out how to make everything. Time management has been the transition. If I could simply put, time management, I had to learn how to manage that efficiently so that we could fit everything in and do everything at a high level.
Oh yeah. And like you said, there's times where you lose a lot of games and then you go back, and it's very much like traditional baseball. And with the 2024 Banana Ball season World Tour just ending on Saturday, October 13th, and now you're about to go on this cruise. This whole season, there was points where you were like, all of a sudden you were winning, like Savannah Bananas would just dominate for a stretch, and then the party animals would come back and dominate a stretch. And
Yep.
and there was games where high level where it was close, and that's I love turning it on YouTube or where I'm in transition to. Y'all have gone from 2022, 2023 to 2024, where y'all have ESPN and you have Warner Bros. Discovery with True TV and stuff. How is that being all of a sudden getting thrown into mainstream TV?
Oh, it's exciting. But like, it's definitely the guys don't get scared by that. They are. That's why we're doing this is to do those things. So when those things start to happen, it just like fuels the engine more. So we go even harder, knowing that we're on live TV, playing in front of millions of people at home. Like it makes the games even more exciting. The stakes are high, and like I said, these guys are competitors, but that's what we want our whole lives as kids, right? Playing the sport is to play in front of a high stakes environment with sold out crowds, and they're getting a chance to do that.
Which, and that's amazing. And tell me about this banana ball cruise that's happening this weekend. Like, I wanted to go, but sadly I'm not going to get to. Tell me
Mm.
and tell us what all that is.
Yes, so it's Banana Land at sea. We're not playing any games, but we're cruising from Miami to the Bahamas with two stops. It's like 5 days or yeah, 6 days, 5 nights, or whatever it is. We come back Friday. We leave Monday. We come back Friday, and it's 3,000 fans, and we're going to entertain the whole time and have fun and just kind of celebrate the whole year and all the things that have happened. All the three teams will be there. Firefighters, party animals, bananas, fans from all the different brands will be there. There's a lot of events going on. Quick play challenge, I think, in the basketball court. Whatever it is, we got a bunch of new dances, shows, skits, bits, music. It's just gonna be a little vacation for everybody, I guess.
That's so cool. And originally I thought y'all were playing a game, but that's cool that y'all are just spending like this whole week with the fans on a cruise and entertaining, and it just sounds like a blast to have. And I want
Yeah,
to talk about the upcoming season real quick because y'all just announced the new schedule with s- game the game draft and telling where y'all are going. And there's some big stadiums out there, like Tampa Bay Rays, Tropicana Field, Truist Park with the Atlanta Braves. You're going to Busch Stadium, and then you got like Panthers Stadium, which is a football stadium. You got Nissan Stadium, and you got Clemson's Memorial Field, where they're football stadiums. With all of those football stadiums, do you even know how that's going to go as of right now?
yeah, we're gonna play in football stadiums. That's what we're doing. That's we're not limited to a baseball field. Banana ball, banana land. We're coming for all spaces. But yeah, so we're gonna figure out how to put a baseball field in there. I think either left field or right field, depending on what side home plate's on, is going to be a little shorter. Obviously, I think the mock draft may have had the fence, less than 300 feet. Uh, Quite a few feet less than 300 feet. But that's just gonna be part of the game. It's kind of like, I don't know if you remember playing backyard baseball when you were a kid. Like some of the dimensions on the field were random, and that's just gonna be one of those things. But the exciting part is gonna be playing in front of 80,000 people with the stakes of that, being leveraged. That's double any major league stadium that we play at this year at once. It's gonna be crazy. It's a lot of people. It's gonna be loud. Um, I think it's going to be an interesting experience, and if we can pull it off, I think it's going to open the door for a lot more major league or NFL and big time college football stadiums in the future.
And maybe y'all can even do some like college baseball stadiums.
No doubt. And the Party Animals are doing the college tour this year, and I think they're going to LSU, Mississippi State, Arkansas. I think there's a couple more in there. So they are doing a college tour. And I think that will also help open the door to expand, especially that brand. I think it might be a good fit with the college baseball scene. So we'll see how it all works out.
Oh yeah, because it's you have like LSU massive baseball stadium, Arkansas massive baseball stadium, Mississippi State massive baseball stadium, and then you're getting these massive MLB stadiums again, like Fenway, Citizens Bank, Camden Yards, which I don't think y'all have been to yet,
Nope.
Coors Field, just the list goes on, like Guaranteed Rate, PNC, Petco, Yankee. That's awesome.
Yep.
Like Minute Maid Park and everything. That's unbelievable. Like that is just now y'all are just playing. Honestly, y'all are playing better baseball in MLB stadiums than MLB is playing in their own stadiums most days.
Well, that's interesting to say, and I can agree with that. I mean, that's been the special thing about Banana Ball, and and I knew I was coming into that because I saw that we were selling out. But just seeing it in person, now going through a whole season, like every single game is sold out, every single seat's taken. That's an amazing feat to accomplish, and that's just how Jesse has and the whole organization has built this. I'm just grateful to be a part of it now. Obviously, my first year, so I didn't, I wasn't here in the very beginning, but I'm grateful for everything that has been done to get us to where we're at, and I'm ready to do my part to help us get to where we want to get to. Um, yeah, we played in 6 MLB stadiums this year. That's turning into 18 next year, plus 2 NFL, plus one college football stadium, and in each MLB stadium we're playing 2 games, not one. So we're playing 18 times 2 MLB games versus only 6. So we just took a massive leap, and I think the boys are ready for it. It's going to be definitely an exciting ride.
Oh yeah, that's 40, 50,000 fans, maybe 20, 30, depending on the baseball park. That's ridiculous. And that it leads me to my one, I guess, a more controversial question. But I've been more concerned about this, and I've talked to a few people that's also concerned about it. With going into these bigger stadiums, do you think that the fans first aspect's going to be lost a little bit? Is there going to still be those after parties? Because I know several of us, and I've seen on social media and people I've talked to personally, have kind of feel like it might not be as fans first because it's going to be so much more people. It's going to be harder to do things.
Yeah, I see the concern. I think that this year is, that was the point of this year was to learn how to make sure we're doing our job, being fans first. And I think this year was well received. The after party at the major league stadiums, that has been an adjustment lately that has been different because of the size of the fans, and it's more about player safety. And we experienced some things that occurred this year that player safety was put at risk, and we have to do our job to make sure that the players are staying safe. I mean, without them, they're the stars of the show, right? So I think there's a balance, and we're trying to figure that out. I know now at the major league stadiums, as soon as gates open, that's where we're starting to do our autograph signings versus instead of post game. So I think we're going to do whatever it takes to be fans first at all times, and the cast and the players are prepared to figure out what that is and execute that.
And thanks for that telling me about that. And I didn't know about the safety issues y'all have, and that's crazy. And I completely understand. And that's just one thing that I know a lot of people's been concerned about going into this new season in February. And
We
that's
had
like,
a real quick. We had a just to give you an idea of how crazy sometimes get. We had a one city we went to. I'm not sure how, but some of the fans had discovered where we were staying at our hotel, and we literally got back in our hotel, and there was like 3,000 fans swarming like the lobby. We had to figure out how to find a back access for the safety of the players. Like, when they're off, it's like when anybody's off work, you just want to be at peace and safe and not have to be worried about anything. And just having that attention nonstop, it's crazy.
and oh yeah, and I understand. And there might have to be boundaries for the players on posting where they are. Like I've
For
seen
sure.
some of them post what hotel they're staying at once
That
in a
part, yep.
while. Or but like yeah, one thing goes on social media, people start sharing it, then you have so many fans and you have to follow them through the kitchen and out the back door
Right.
is kind of out crazy. And now that I understand that, and I think people will start seeing, oh, there's got to be a way to make it safe for everybody and
Yep.
still make it fans first.
Yep.
And moving on to like all of that with the all at the parties and all that. 2026, Jesse announced that uh in 2026 y'all are going to be doing this big championship.
Yes. Yes. Well, in 2026, we're starting the Banana Ball Championship League, which Jesse announced at the draft, and we're going to have 6 teams, and we're going to start our league play because we've been like touring. And if you look at the schedule, not every team plays the same amount of games. Next year's schedule, the firefighters and the tailgaters, I think, play 33 games. We're playing 70 plus games, party animals 60 plus games. But that year after that, we're going to start our league play where everybody plays the same amount of game schedule, same amount of home games, same amount of away games, more like the baseball. So you can figure out standings, have playoffs, and that's kind of what we've been building towards. So that's going to come into fruition starting in 2026. And the end of 2025, we're going to have a little mock championship, I guess, playoff type of situation, and we're just going to have like 4 seeds, and those seeds are going to play out for the Banana Ball Championship uh, end of the season championship games. But that's just kind of giving a taste of the competitive environment that's about to happen in 2026.
And that's going to be really interesting because you have the nonstop baseball, and then you have like all the players doing their crazy skits and they're singing, they're dancing. Like I saw Bronny the other night doing like Dadgum Elton John, I'm Still Standing. Like with all of that, and then you're turning it more and more competitive into baseball. That's gonna be wild because it's gonna be nonstop action every game, and you're gonna actually want to follow every game throughout the season and the playoffs because everything's actually gonna matter, and it's not just they're playing against each other. Here's entertainment, woohoo! And I'm kind of excited about that because you're gonna actually have a championship. It's gonna be an actual league, and it's gonna be a lot more fun. And I hope you're excited for it if you get to make it down that long. But that sounds like it's going to be such a big deal.
Absolutely. And I'm super excited for it. That's kind of what I'm the most excited for is getting to that league play. Because then from there we can keep growing as brands. And if the people the fans want it, we can add more teams, and who knows where this goes. This potentially could be the first global sports league. You never know. But it starts with being fans first, one game at a time, and making sure that each show is taken care of and the guys are playing the game, the right way at a high level.
And that's fantastic. And you have MLB superstars like I can't even remember any right now, apparently. But you have all these MLB superstars that everybody's like Shohei Ohtani and you know, like people like Shohei Ohtani, and then you have these Savannah Bananas superstars where it's like Stilts, Bronny, and you have Michael Deeb. You have all these players that fans drool over. You have these teenage girls and stuff that are like going nuts over some of them because they're doing these so crazy things. And you have Jackson Olsen, with his greatest show mentality and someone that has an incredible story. And you're getting to see things that he wasn't going to probably get to play baseball anymore. He didn't. And then you got to the Bananas. And that's so cool. And I love the atmosphere and I love the people that are playing because they're not like, oh, I make so much money. I play professional baseball. I'm a big deal. All the ones ever got to talk to are humble. And I'm thankful that you get to be a part of it. I'm thankful that I've got to see it. And I really hope that it just continues to be this big league, that it's down to earth people.
Yeah. And that's kind of the culture that we have here, and that's why the scouting and the recruitment is really important to bring in people that are of like-minded individuals, and we can keep the culture flourishing, especially if we grow into a bigger league and we spread out. You got to make sure that culture stays the same, and each brand will be a little different, obviously, but the culture of fans first always has to be equal across all teams.
Oh yeah. Um, any last thoughts? Any tell people your social media?
No, I'm glad that you asked me to come on and answer these questions. I'm looking forward to next season and hopefully having you come out to a game. I'm not sure. I guess Cincinnati would be pretty close to you. I know we're going there. I don't know what games you might have. What are you most excited for on the schedule?
I'm really excited. I would love to go to the Banana Braves Stadium because that's really close to home.
Cool.
So I would love to go to Truist Park or Nissan Stadium because I'm only 45 minutes from the Nashville. So those two
Mm.
games I would love to go to, and maybe I could make a game at Grayson Stadium next year if I can. Those are
Cool.
three. I love Grayson Stadium. I love these. I love Savannah. Savannah is awesome. So those two games I'm really excited for, and I would love to make it to Savannah to actually see Savannah Bananas in their at their home turf. And tell all the fans your social media and how they can find
Uh,
you.
yeah, my social media for Instagram is my handle is at R Ortega 99. Same thing for TikTok, and YouTube is at Ray Ortega 99. But I'm just starting to build my YouTube. I haven't really gotten very good at it yet. But in general, I haven't really. I just started with social media this year. I had not done any social media for almost 5 years until I joined the Bananas, and then I've been trying to learn how to navigate this metaverse space, I guess.
That sounds awesome. Well, you're getting good at it. I'm excited to see what happens in the future for you and the Bananas, and hopefully you can do some awesome dancing TikToks and stuff in the future. It's nice to see you, Ray. It's nice being your friend, and I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Take care.
Bye.